Hello, everybody. It is me, P2 Gamer 679, and today we are going to be talking about my thoughts on OG Fortnite. The season ends in about 2 days of me recording this video, and you know, it's certainly been a month of Fortnite to say the least. It's been fun. But we'll get into what my problems are with this season, personally, and what I'm hoping for next season, honestly. So without further ado, I say we just jump right into it with the first point being the map. You know, OG Fortnite's mainly just the map. You know, so yeah. So they brought back the OG map. And when they dropped the season 5 map, we were like, okay, they're just gonna change the map every season to like that season's map, right? Like they had the season 5 map, so we thought, oh, we'll just have the season 6 map with all the ruins and all that, it'd be chill. We'd be chilling. But no, they added an island, and that is about it for map changes. Yeah, it wasn't great. And for season 7, they added Frosty Flights and Ruined Polar Peak, along with that snow biome, and they didn't even destroy Greasy. So it was just a really shitty snow biome. It was just really bad. Like, it was just bad to play in because of all of its verticality. Like, you needed a grappler there because you couldn't even shockwave up. So you would have needed a grappler or, like, I don't know, baller, but planes technically would have helped, but they got rid of those today. So, get fucked, I guess. I mean, there's no biome, honestly. This season sucked a mallet ass. I mean, there was nowhere to really go. There was nothing to do there. I mean, there's Frosty Flights, but then you just take a plane and leave immediately, pretty much. You do the Frosty Flights and then leave. You might go to Polar Peak after looting. You might loot Polar Peak, run down to Greasy, and then fight whoever's left in Greasy, but honestly, just go to Greasy at that point. So, yeah, unless you have a really bad Greasy drop or just a really bad Frosty drop, then you'd go Ruin Polar Peak, but Ruin Polar Peak says it in the name, it's just Ruin Polar Peak. Though, the weird thing about the Season 7 update was that it was also the Season 8 update. Even though we got drift boards in Season 6, we got combat shotguns in Season 7 and 8. So, I mean, man, I don't know. They had comments for a week and got rid of them in the Season 9 and Season 10 update. So, I don't know what the fuck you want me to say here. This shit made no goddamn sense. I know there's lore reasons for why they did this, for why they did what they did, but honestly, the lore can go to hell here, man. This is like the one season where lore has actively fucked with this season more than it has helped. Honestly, I wish they just stuck with no lore from like chapter 4, honest to God. I mean, it's nice having lore, but like if you're just gonna fuck with the OG vibes, then just fuck off. Honest to God, just have that shit in like just quests, bro. Just don't have it impact what we get in the map, man. We got no map changes, which led to this entire season feeling rushed as hell because I didn't have a buffer. What I feel like the reasoning for the whole reason I feel for the OG season is that they didn't want to delay season 4 because people were already getting fed up of season 4 by the time it was nearing its end, right? People were getting fed up and they wanted it done. I wanted it done first. I wanted chapter 4 done with, right? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Chapter 4 was it was a mess. Chapter 4 was nothing but a mess. Every season had to rely on a collaboration to stay relevant. Honest to God, look back at every single season in Chapter 4, and you notice a trend right quick, is that anime collabs carried that chapter. Chapter 4 Season 1 had My Hero and Dragon Ball. That is the most memorable update from that season. Try and name me something better, mate. I'm daring you. Chapter 4 Season 2 had the exact same thing except for the Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, I'm pretty sure was meta. Yeah, the fucking ODM gear was meta. I don't know if it was in like FNCS that season. I don't know. I don't remember, but fuck that season with a mega ton of ass. Chapter 4 Season 3 had no mobility and relied on Jujutsu Kaisen at the end of the season, and Futurama right before that. Had Futurama Mythic, then went right into Jujutsu Kaisen, which was fucking bust, which was OD as hell, OP as hell. And then for Season 4, they brought back My Hero Academia because they couldn't be fucked to bring in, like, I don't know, Demon Slayer collaboration for some fucking shit. I don't know, man. It's ridiculous. Chapter 4 got carried by fucking anime collaborations and events. The seasons, they're nothing to write home about. They're all either mid or garbage. To be perfectly honest with you, and I got nothing for it. I can't defend that chapter at all. Anyways, that's not the point. Anyways, the point being here is that this is a good segue into the skins we got this season. So outside of a rushed map feeling incredibly lazy, I know this is a remake of Chapter 1 Fortnite, but this felt irresistibly lazy, right? This felt incredibly lazy. To a fault. Like, I know being lazy is usually a bad thing, right? But in a remake, you don't want it, like, you want to be kind of lazy in a remake. You know what I mean? Like, you want to still bring back what people loved about Chapter 1, right? But they were even lazier on that because they didn't even bring back what we wanted. Like, they didn't have the jungle biome at all. They cut the entire biome out, forcing ballers to be just sporadically across the map for some goddamn reason. They just, fuck it, just put them random places. They also had to do the same thing with planes because they got rid of the fucking plane outposts, which made some places interesting. It made the middle of the map more interesting because there was that middle mountain that had a plane outpost on it, which made that interesting. It had there was a middle island there that had a zip line on it to get to Salty Tower, to get to the Salty Mountain. And they got rid of that zip line. Going into OG Fortnite, they got rid of that zip. One of the only zip lines that was in Chapter 1. And they got rid of it. For 2 separate zip lines. There was a zip line to get up to the middle mountain. And then there was a zip line to get up to Salty Tower. To Salty Mountain, I mean. Why didn't they just do what they already had 4 years ago? And just keep the zip lines that got you to these islands. That got you to and from these islands. To and back from these islands. Like, there was a zip line chain that got you all the way to Salty Tower if you went from Tilted. You went from Tilted, you can go to like those little mountain chains there. You can take the zip lines from each, and then take that zip line chain all the way to fucking Salty Mountain, which would then get you to Salty. So I don't get why they would get rid of this one zip line, but add a bunch of others, making it incredibly redundant. I find it incredibly dumb, but it's whatever, man. Zero Build felt awful for people who actually played it. I played a bit of it, and it felt awful, but Zero Build just sucks on this map. I went into this season knowing Zero Build was going to be mad ass. Because, I mean, I went into this map, like, I remember playing on, like, Reboot Royale, just a private lobby, with myself, and going like, how the hell is this gonna run, man? How the hell is Zero Build even gonna run? Because it was originally leaked that mantling and sliding and all that was gonna be gone, right? There'd be no sprinting, there'd be no mantling, there'd be no sliding. Like, we'd just be going back to Chapter 1, right? No Chapter 3 mechanics, no nothing. No Chapter 3 movement, nothing. So I was incredibly confused on how the hell this map is even gonna work. There'd be some chests you wouldn't be able to get. You would have to either land on the top of the house, or you would just have to break the floor because you couldn't actually get the chest. So I'm just confused. I was just confused, but they kept mantling, they kept sprinting, they kept sliding, which honestly is a godsend because I don't know how you would have survived without those, because the planes are so open, it would have made Zero Build unplayable without the movement from chapter 3, it would have made it unplayable. Dead ass. Anyways, this is not a video about zero build, so I'm going to keep going. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the loophole, of which it was incredibly confusing. You know, you had some weapons that were in Season 5 that were just absent and only added in the Season 7 and 8 update. For example, the TAC SMG was added in the Season X update for some reason. The minigun was added in the Season 7 update, even though it was changed in Season 7, I guess. So that one kind of makes sense. The Season 7 minigun, which was the one we got back, was the one that introduced in Season 7, so I guess. Quad Launcher made an appearance in Season 7, which, even though it came out in Season 6. So, you know, the weapon loophole didn't make sense of when things came out, but it was so fun to have a changing third shotgun every week, even though we currently have the most annoying shotgun meta in the game right now in the season, which is drum, pump, and tack. Which just the drum beats the tack like 9 times out of 10, and unless you get a one pump, the drum's also gonna beat the pump. So unless, because I'm pretty sure like that, like at the ranges where the drum is especially annoying is where the pump starts to fall off, and the tack still doesn't do any damage because the tack is just kind of hot ass this season. So yeah, it's just a really annoying shotgun meta this week. The combat was honestly good for the meta. I'm not gonna lie, because you can still use a pump because this version of the combat makes it like its niche is that you want to play further away from the pump player, right? The pump is the more like in your face, right? It's good for like a box fight, like getting into the box and 50-50 and running that 50-50. But a combat isn't gonna want to run those 50-50s because it does less damage per shot, right? It shoots faster and has more range, so it can like make up with that by just being outside of the box, you know, using effective peanut butter edits and right hand peaks, which is what the combat excels at, you know, using right hand peaks, using peanut butter edits. Pump is also really good at this, right? But you need to be a lot closer for it to be most effective. So I feel like last updates was probably the best we had, but we've been on like 2 weeks of this Season X update, I'm pretty sure. And I think everyone's honestly, I'm just seeing a lot of people fed up with it on Twitter and all that. There's still a bunch of people who are really happy with it. And I do want to. All right. So outside of the loophole topic, because I'm done with that pretty much. Just anything else to mention is just like SMGs, rocket launchers, and snipers. Really, no, that's really too interesting to talk about. So the other thing I want to mention is the fact that OG Fortnite is not coming back next chapter. Right? Like it's just not coming back at all. No, it's not. It's not happening. All right. My opinion on this is that it's a good thing because watching the fucking global championship last season was a travesty. Those servers were abundantly awful for a game this popular that makes this much money. Those servers were like fucking World of Warcraft in like 2005, motherfucker. What the fuck was that shit? That shit was a travesty to humanity, my guy. What the hell? Like, goddamn, my brother in Christ, that shit was laggy as fuck. It probably fucked over people's tournaments, definitely. I don't know everyone's experience, but I know it fucked over some. So, that shit was ass. We can't have that shit. We are not, I am not, no one's gonna be happy. No one in competitive is gonna be happy if they actually, like, keep the servers the way they are going into Chapter 5. No one's gonna be pleased. No one's gonna be happy with that shit. Servers for pubs are fine, right? Because pubs are basic and boring as fuck. So it doesn't matter. There's like one build fight in end game between like the last two guys because yeah, pubs are kind of just basic Fortnite. Ranked, I mean, I don't really know much about ranked server issues, but I know there are some in like competitive, so that's what matters. Fortnite cannot be having server problems in competitive, right? In this global championship of the broadcasting to millions, they can't be having these server issues. And there was even a hacker that got into the tournament. They hacked on someone else's account. They bought an account, hacked on it, and got to FNCS. They actively got someone kicked out from getting qualified. It was an OCE because OCE has all the cheaters for some reason. Because OCE is hot ass. Yes, it has the power work, but it's despite all of that. They're able to make it big despite having all those cheaters in their server. It's ridiculous, honest to God, bro. Honestly, this season has been infested with cheaters, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I do just want to keep up with this point here on the chapter 1 not coming back. What I mean by the servers would not be able to run this fucking game with multiple all right. So here's what they're adding next season. All right, so we have solo, duo, trio, squads, regular builds. Solo, duo, trio, squads for 0 builds. We add another 8. We had another 4 for each for their ranked variations, even though I'm pretty sure 0 build still only has solos and duos, which is kind of fucking pathetic. So we'll add 2 for ranked 0 build, and we'll add 4 for ranked builds because they just added trios this season. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's another 6, I guess. So that's about, give or take, 14 Battle Royale servers. Yeah, now add another 14 because, it's another map, which means you need to have the same things. You still need to have the 6 0 build game modes and the 8 build game modes. So that's another 14 fucking game. That's another 14 servers you have to run across 8 regions. The servers aren't going to be able to handle that alone. They're barely going to be able to handle that alone. The game crashed for an Invincible collab, man. I refuse to believe this game is ever actually able to run 14 Battle Royale servers at once. And that's before the fact they're adding a racing mode, a music-based mode, and an open-world Lego Minecraft game mode. I refuse to believe they would even have the storage capacity like this. I refuse to believe they even have the fucking servers to run all of this, even without adding an OG Fortnite. Yes, there's some people who want it because, Fortnite was at its biggest. I mean, obviously, it's nostalgia. Obviously, it's going to be the biggest it's been in 8 years, right? This was a no-brainer, right? This was a marketing ploy, and it worked to hell and back, right? This brought people back to the game. This brought people to the game. The collabs they brought in were big name collabs. They didn't fuck around this season with collabs. They brought in 2 collabs, and they were both heavy hitting collabs. It was Invincible and Eminem. When you drop an Eminem collab and put him in your live event, you're not fucking around anymore. You've brought out the fucking trump cards here. They wanted this season to go down as a marketing paradigm of perfection. And it worked. Right? People came to this game just for Eminem. Jesus Christ, it is a goddamn miracle. Oh my God, bro. With the amount of shit that went wrong with this season, it's a miracle they pulled everything off flawlessly. Because, oh my God, if they didn't, the amount of backlash would have been astronomical. It's a reference to the fact that there's a concert this season. Astronomical was the name of a concert back in Chapter 2. I have some friends who weren't playing in Chapter 2, so they probably wouldn't know this. So I just mentioned this because I don't know who's going to be watching these videos. So I feel like I have to explain every joke that I make, except for the last one. I forgot to mention that. I forgot to explain that one. So, whoopsies. Sucks to suck. Learn how to learn the jokes. That's all I got for you. What else is there? There were servers. I mentioned the servers. Oh yeah. What I want for next chapter. So, given the fact we just got age ratings, I have lost all hope in finishers. ever coming to this game. I have lost complete hope in that because that shit's never coming. So I've given up on that because obviously finishers can only be in M-rated games, man. Like the two biggest games I know of that have finishers are Dead by Daylight and Call of Duty Warzone, and like Call of Duty recently. So I mean, point proven. Well, no, Apex has finishers, and that's teen. I mean, I guess you could do it, but eh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how they do it anymore. It's fucking too many guns, too much shit. It wouldn't work. Yeah, I just gave up on fucking finishers. So, what I want for next chapter, obviously a new map. Obviously, with the map so far, the map looks promising. From its basic design, it looks promising. But we need to wait until we get onto the map before we can make any judgments on it. So that's gonna be an issue and a half. Maybe that could potentially be a big problem and a half. Another thing I want is a good loot pool. Good loot pool is just as important as a good map. Because if you fuck it up on one, the people may want to play your map, but they don't want to play with your loot pool. So they'll try and find alternatives to playing on your map, but not with the loot pool. So yeah, I feel like this is really gonna just depend on the ARs and shotguns of the season. Mobility, I'm perfectly fine without having mobility. I mean, I played my most played season of Chapter 4 was Chapter 4 Season 3, and that shit had no mobility. That had like zero mobility, literally zero mobility. The best mobility we were getting was mud, my brother in Christ, or vehicles. There was zero mobility that season. Yeah, there's no mobility that season, but whatever. We take it. It was a good season overall. I'd say loot pool wise at least. I mean, the rest of it was bone dry. Oh my god. Anyways, so mobility doesn't really matter. So as long as we have good ARs, good shotguns, good heals, that's all I care about, man. Mobility is just an added bonus, really. Good mobility is just an added bonus. You just get to go places faster. You get to explore more. Really. So, yeah. Honestly. So, eat your heart out. Honest to God. So, yeah. What's another thing I want? I mean, they mentioned weapon attachments at some point. Like that's been leaked for years, right? Like I remember that being leaked. I think it was it was past the midway point of chapter 2. I think it was chapter 2, season 5 or 6 when that got leaked. But it is about 2.5 chapters later, and they still ain't dropped that shit. So I refuse to believe that's ever coming out at this point in time. Another thing I want is I want them to have a more of a focus towards BR instead of whatever the fuck they're doing with creative recently, because creative has been a travesty. Honest to God, it has been disgusting. Trying to sort through that bullshit has been disgusting. And it honestly isn't even real how awful that shit looks. On God, that shit looks terrible. That Discover page, oh my God. It is probably the worst Discover page I have ever seen for a for a piece of software. It is awful. I don't think I've ever seen anything worse. It's actually jarring how bad it is, which is kind of just funny. So yeah, all right. Let me think. And this is kind of a problem when it comes to my off the top videos. Sometimes I just don't prep for them, so I don't have a whole lot on my mind. I want good lore. I want good lore. We have a new creative director going into this chapter, so I feel like this is gonna be like phase 2 of the lore, right? Or like a soft reboot per se. I mean, we went back to chapter 1. Now we're gonna have a soft reboot. We're going completely new direction now. So maybe we can get some useful fucking characters to the story, and maybe we won't be out here pulling a chapter 4 with the storyline where we get introduced to a character and they fall off the face of the earth the next season, which happened in both chapter 4 season 1, chapter 4 season 2, chapter 4 season 3, and wait. What was chapter 4 season 3 story? Oh, yes, chapter 4 season 3 and chapter 4 season 4. Yes. Every single season that chapter was just characters being important one season, falling off the next season, never to be mentioned again. Rift Warden Stellan was around for season 1, never again showed up. Never showed up again. I'm pretty sure the Rift Gate was even taken off the map in season 2. I'm actually kind of pretty certain about that. It might have still been there, but I think it was a background detail that never changed. So yeah, like even in top 5 gaming's lore recap, he literally skipped the entirety of chapter 4 season 2. There was literally nothing to that. He mentioned the comics for some seasons, man. He mentioned Fortnite comics for that, bro. He had nothing to say for chapter 4 season 2, so he just skipped the entire season. Which honestly, fair enough, nothing was of use in that season. So he went straight to season 3, and still nothing happened. Optimus Prime, basically the gist of it is that Optimus Prime warned us of upcoming threats, and an apparatus showed up and Sloan returned. Sloan returning was probably the biggest part of that season, because everyone thought she'd been dead for over a year. So, yeah, but they aren't going to kill Sloan, because she's a woman. I'm kidding. No, it's because they can't be bothered to make new important story characters. So, they can be bothered, so. And considering they have these seasons prepped in advance, they needed someone to bring her back. So, have her show up on this island despite the other one getting blown up and destroyed with chrome. Yeah, no, this definitely makes sense. Yep, 100%. I definitely won't make a video in the future making fun of this Fortnite lore and everything it's worth. Definitely won't do that. Definitely will not make a making fun of Fortnite storyline video by the end of 2023. Nope. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Christmas break. Not happening during Christmas break of 2023. Nope. Basically, yeah, I'm planning on making fun of this Fortnite storyline, especially for chapter 4. Because I'll probably make it just about chapter 4, because that's the funniest to make fun of. Because the first 2 chapters are fine, and chapter 3 is serviceable. So I'll just make a making fun of Fortnite chapter 4 storyline video, because it'd probably be funny making fun of it. So yeah, basically do like CinemaSins with the Fortnite storyline. Like I'm gonna actually like do some proper editing for it. Like I'm gonna like try and like I won't have like a sin counter. Like I'll just mark a tally of sins. So yeah, and then have like a little like I might try and get like the clips in there that I want to mention in like his video. So yeah, I'll see if I can get that to happen. But anyways, that's besides the point. The point is that we're talking about chapter 5 stuff now. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. So, I don't really need to keep this going on very much for a whole lot longer. So, with 29 minutes on the clock, I'm going to let you gamers go. This has been Pichu, the 679th gamer of the world, and I shall see you all another day. Goodbye.